Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Stedman. Today I'll be teaching you how to knit this beautiful sweater. It's a very easy stitch to do. I hope you guys like it and give it a try, and here is the listed material I'm gonna use to make this sweater. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell, that way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I do my videos in Spanish and English. If you receive a Spanish video, look in the main page of my channel that you will find the version of that video in English. If you are like me, a size large or extra large, I recommend to use a thinner yarn because this is a very bulky yarn, and for us that we are a little bit more voluptuous, it's no convenient to use a thicker yarn when it's a sweater that will be more fitted. So this one is like a medium size, so that's what I recommend if you are doing a large, extra large. A thinner yarn or a cotton, it will be perfect. To make this sweater, I'm gonna use Bernat Softy Chunky black and white. It's super bulky, 6, 100% acrylic, and each one of them have 350 grams or 12 ounces. The netting needle are 8mm. You're gonna need tapestry needle and scissor and measurement tape if you want to guide yourself by measurements. This is the stitch that we're gonna do for our sweater, and it's a gorgeous stitch and very easy. It's the repetition of 2 rounds. The only thing that I did 1 repetition with the black and 2 repetition with the white. That way the white stripe is wider and the black is just thinner. But it's very, very easy. This is piece that I have here is more in the medium side. If I stretch, I can put it on. I'm a large. If I stretch like this, I can, you know, it will fit me. But without stretching, it's more like a medium size. So if you want to do a true large, you will have to add more stitch. Because this one is closer to a medium than a large, extra large. I hope you know. If you want it to be a little bit loose, this will be snug on me probably when I finish. It's not the same to measure this and here that when it's on already with the other side sew in and on. So what we're gonna do is a rectangle like this, and then sew the 2 pieces together and the shoulder and the side and do some sleeve. Very easy. This one and the border is like this in the bottom part, and in the top I finish with the black as well. So this, the width is, without stretching it, is 17 inches. See this one fold on the side. So 17 inches is 43 centimeters, and the length I think is 24 inches. 24 inches is 61 centimeters. And I go to one of the border here, you see, 24 inches, and 24 inches is 61 centimeters. So the stitch is multiple of 8 plus 4. So each of these design is 8 plus 4. So if you're gonna do this bigger, you have to add 8, 16, so on. For this one, I cast down 52 stitches, and I wish I have done instead of 52, I have add 8 more. That way it's a little bit loose, but hey, I already done one side, so I just had to continue with this size. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cast down our stitches. So if you want it just a little bit bigger than this one, just add 8 stitches, or you can add 16. Okay, and if you want it just a little bit smaller than this, what you do, change to a size 7 netting needle, and this will be very small. Okay, You can measure your body and you will know if these, with this 52 will fit you. Remember, this is a very thick yarn. It's not the same to work with thick yarn than with medium 4 thin yarn. Then you will need to cast on much more stitches. I'm gonna start from the bottom up, and I will start with the black, and it's 2 round of pearl, or 2 row pearl one way and pearl on the way back. So no matter what color it is, pearl is a pearl. So even that I chose black, it's still the same. Now I have to leave a tail long enough to cast on my 52 stitches. That is 48 plus 4. Now if you want it bigger, you just add those 52, add 8 more stitches, or 16 stitches, or 24 stitches, because I already have the 4 in my count of 52. I wish I have done at least 8 more stitches for me, but it's a little bit too late now. If it don't fit me, it'll fit my youngest daughter or my sister. So now I'm gonna lift a tail long enough to cast on my 52 stitches. So I'm gonna wrap around 13 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. 13 and 13 is 26, and 26 and 26 is 52 plus a little extra to lose the tail. You're gonna do a slip knot, and I'm doing the long tail cast on. You can do the cast on the easiest way for you, as long as you have multiple of 8 plus 4. So you're gonna start casting on your stitches, and I will meet you here when I have my 52 stitches. It looks like a very complicated stitch, but it's not. It's very easy. The design is only in 1 row, okay? So it's very easy. I'll meet you here at the end of this one. Once you have the stitches, you're gonna do a knot here to secure your work, and we're gonna start with a pearl row. The first and second row is pearl. That's done with the black, and then we'll change to the white without cutting the black. Okay, we're gonna keep the black and the white to work the design. So do this row pearl, that's row 1, and row 2 is a pearl row as well. Okay, I'm working in my second pearl row, and these can be changed to net. I know a lot of people don't like to purl, but these can change to net, because otherwise it will be gonna be like this. It will be going into the inside like that, you see, and you don't want these in the right side of the piece like that. Okay, so you have to purl those 2 rows. We're gonna call these 2 round the border round. Now we're gonna start with row 1 of the design, and it's gonna be the repetition of row 1 and 2. Only those 2 is what you're gonna repeat to create this beautiful design. So don't get more easy than that. So we're gonna change to the white, and the first round is a net round. Let me make a few before I tie the tail with the black, that way. And here the white and the tail to secure the white jar. And just with 1 for now. So do this net row, and I will meet you here in row 2 of the design. We're gonna start with 2 pearl, and these are the border stitch. Now you're gonna open an asterisk for repetition. And you're gonna do yarn over, 2 purls, 3 purls together, 3 stitch together in a purl, 2 purl, yarn over, and a purl, and then the asterisk. So that's the repetition that you're gonna do. Those from the yarn over to the purl. Okay, the 2 purls in the beginning is the border stitch that you're gonna end with 2 purl. So now you start again, yarn over, 2 purls, 3 stitch together and a purl stitch, two purl, yarn over, and a purl. And again, that's the repetition that we're doing here. So that is what we're creating. We're working the stitch in the back. So we're doing the 2 border stitch. This little hole is the yarn over, and then you do 2 purls, 3 together and a purl stitch, 2 purl, yarn over, and then a purl. So that purl that you are doing there is creating these stitches in here. So it's very easy. I'll show you one more time. So yarn over, 2 purls, 1 and 2, 3 together in a purl stitch, 2 purls, 1 and 2, yarn over, and a purl. Now we're going to finish with the last 2 as a purl. The only thing is in this side you're going to have 3 stitches in the border and 2 in the other one. If you don't want to have that way, what I recommend to you is, well, I hope you watched the video before we start. You start working in the piece that, and instead of leaving 4 for the border, leave 3. So you will start with 2 on one side. This is the, when you turn around, you do the 2, and then when you do the purl, after the yarn over purl 1, you'll have only 1 stitch. You do a purl, and then you'll have 2. But don't matter that in this side 3, because when you sew the other side, the back, the 3 will be in this side and the 2 in here. So it'll be, but I wish I had known that when I started the first one, but it was too late and I had to do exactly the same. So now we're gonna do the repetition of row 1 again. So that's how easy the stitch it is. And that's the repetition you're gonna do over and over, those 2 rounds. Remember I mentioned that with the white I did 4 rows, and with the black I did 2. That's why with the white is the design is bigger and just smaller with the black. Make the designs very nice. So now we're going to do the repetition of row 1, and this is row 3. So for with the white you're going to do 4 row. So now to bring the black a little bit up, I'm gonna, before I do my net, I'm gonna bring the black up, and then you see it's in there. And when I do my net with the white, the black is trapped 1 stitch or 2 stitch up. So now with the white you're going to continue doing this net round, and this is the yarn over. You're going to net the yarn over, and you're going to knit every single stitch. So when you do these 3 together, you are decreasing 2. So the yarn over here and the yarn over in here are the increase of those 2 stitches that you decrease in the center. So you're going to continue all the way to the end, and I will show you again how to do the repetition of row 2. So like that is how you're going to continue working all your stitches all the way until the end of this round. So again, I'm in the yarn over here. You're going to knit the yarn over and continue again the yarn over, and you're going to knit. And like that you're going to continue all the way until the end, and you're going to start seeing the border start to take shape. Now we're going to start with repetition of round 2, and round 2 is 2 purl, and then you do open an asterisk, and then it's yarn over, 2 purl, 3 purl together, 2 purl, yarn over, and 1 purl. And that's what you're going to do over and over, and you're going to finish with 2 purl. So you're going to start with 2 purl, and then the repetition will start here. Yarn over, 2 purls, 3 together and a purl stitch, two purl, yarn over, 1 purl, and that's what we're doing here, you see. So again, you're going to do the repetition, yarn over, 2 purl, 3 together and a purl stitch, 2 purls, yarn over, and a purl. So this is the repetition that you're going to do over and over, and you see it start to get the border like that. And I'm going to leave in the description box how you're going to do this stitch. So it's very easy. It's just the repetition of those 2 rows. Again, yarn over, 2 purls, 3 together and a purl stitch, 2 purl, yarn over, and 1 purl. So I finished the round. Now I'm gonna work two rounds with the black, and I'm gonna leave the white in the front, and then with the black I'm gonna work my stitch. That way you don't see the black in the border of the white. You're gonna do a net round, and you're gonna go back with the design of the stitch with the black, and then you'll change to the white again. So it's very easy to do. I finished that row, and I'm gonna do the repetition of row 2. Exactly what I did with the white is what we're gonna do with the black. So it don't matter if I'm working with the black, because you're seeing exactly what we're gonna do. 2 purl, yarn over, 2 purls, 3 together in a purl stitch, 2 purl, yarn over, and 1 purl. And it starts to look like this. Again, yarn over, 2 purl, 3 together in a purl stitch, and I always pull here when I do those 3 together. That way they go to their places where they're supposed to be. And then you're gonna do 2 purl, yarn over, and 1 purl, and like that you're gonna continue all the way until the end of this row. I finished that round, and now we're gonna change to the white. So it's, like I said, it's a very easy stitch. I keep the black in the back, and with the white I come here and I start repetition of row 1 with the white, and like that you're gonna continue, and then you're gonna go back with repetition of row 2. And then when you finish the repetition, you will go again repetition of 1 with the white. Bring the black a little up. You see, you don't gonna see it here in the side. So and then what you're gonna do after that is change again back and forth with the color. So this, well, I have this in Spanish, but I'm gonna do it in English in the description box for you guys. I have here blanco, that means white, and I have the four row of white that I did. That was 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I just finished with the black, negro, black, 5 and 6, and then now starting 7 again with the white, and I will do 7, 8, 9, and 10 with the white, and then 11 and 12 with the black, and over and over. But the only row that have the design is row 2. You see, it's very easy. Don't get more easy than this. A beautiful design and so simple. So for mine, what I did is I started working over and over until I have the length that I wanted. So you can make this as a tunic to put on top of leggings, or you do less and you can do a crop sweater, or you can do like a dress, like a very long, and then when you sew the side you leave them some piece open, you know. It's up to you what the length that you want to do with this, or even if you want to do a skirt, you can do a skirt with this. It's up to you. So for mine, when I work in this one, I just work without counting the rows. I just went by the color of the design. So at the white, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 at the white, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the black, and I finish here with 4 rows of pearl and the right side and net and the wrong side. You see, I did 4 rows like that. That way I curl to the inside, and we're gonna sew this and here and in here. This will curl in the front like that, and it'll give you the opening of the color. I went with a simple design like this because I want anybody that know how to knit and purl to do this sweater. It's very easy. It's not like when you start doing you know, casting off stitches and doing one shoulder and then the other one, and then it's get a little bit more complicated for a beginner. So this is very easy to do and fast because it's very thick yarn. Like this look on the right side, and look at how gorgeous as well look in the wrong side. So working to your 2 pieces exactly the same, and then I will meet you here to put the pieces together and do the sleeves. So I'm working with the white, and I decided to show you again. So it's yarn over, 2 purl, 3 purl together, 2 purl, yarn over, and a purl. Again, yarn over, 2 purl, 3 together, and a purl stitch. I always pull that there. 2 purls, yarn over, and a purl. Again, yarn over, and 2 purls, and so on. So I was looking at my piece here, and I love this stitch so much that I think I'm gonna do a cardigan as well with this stitch. Open in the front with buttons. It will look amazing. Like this in the bottom of the cardigan. It will look gorgeous. And that's how new ideas and new pieces are born from one to the next one. Even if they have the same stitch, can be a different piece of clothes. So that is in my plans now. I just wanted to remind you, when you finish the second round with the white, to bring the black up and then do your knit with the white again. That way the black is 2 round up, 2 row. In my mind I'm doing circular work round. So you're going to continue with those 2 repetition and changing the color back and forth until you have the length that you want for your piece. And remember, follow the chart and you're not going to have any problem. So I even have already the color for my cardigan, red and white. I have another white of these and 2 red. It will be perfect. So I'll let you go, do those 2 pieces, and I will meet you here when you are ready to do the sleeves. So I did a mistake on purpose, and I wanted to show you this before I go and work off camera, just in case you make a mistake and you don't do a yarn over. You miss a yarn over, so I don't did the yarn over in here, in between this pearl. I missed this one. To show you, let's say I start netting in the right side. So they will be with the black, but I'm doing it with the white. Because it's easier to see. Okay, and this round I'm supposed to be working with the black. So let's say I'm netting, and when I get to the place, and here, and then you see I missed the yarn over, and here, that's the yarn over. If you want, you can lift it up, but I'm gonna show you, just in case, how to remove the stitches and come back to that space. It's good to know these things just in case you make mistakes. And it's not a lot of videos out there showing how to fix this kind of mistakes. So you're gonna come here, and the same way that you net the stitches, you're gonna remove them. You're gonna come with the left hand needle, and that net below, you're gonna place in your needle, and you're gonna remove that stitch and move the yarn. Again, you see, from the front to the back, again, move that stitch and pull your yarn. Okay, like that. I'm gonna continue. Now I'll show you when you have to do the yarn over. So this one is the yarn over. Again, you come in here, wrap it on your needle, and remove that stitch, and you have the yarn over in here. And again, you're gonna continue. I want to show you how to undo stitches in net and how to undo stitches in purl. So you turn your work around, and you can do this with any work. So you go back in here, and you see the stitch in here, this purl. You grab that purl, and you move that one out of your needle, and then you have the yarn in the front. Now you go from under that stitch and out like that, and move that one, and again like this, and that was the yarn over. I remove the yarn over, and you go back like this until the place where you did a mistake. Here I had the three together and a purl stitch, so what you're gonna do is come to the first one, and here you see it's the lower one here, and you pass your needle through, and make sure that you have 3 strands on your needle, and then you remove this, and you have just 3 stitches on your needle. Again, you go to the next one, and the next one, and here is where I mix the yarn over, and then I will do my yarn over, and then continue. I recommend to practice that because it's easier to do that than pick the yarn over, and then the stitch don't gonna have the same length as the other one because you're picking already a work stitch. So it's easier doing it this way, that way all of them are even. And then again you do your 3 together, you do the 2 purl, yarn over again, and the last 3, and then you change to the black. So I just wanted to show you that, just in case you made a mistake and you want to fix it without frogging everything that you've done already. Okay, so I'll meet you here now. I'll let you go. I'll meet you here when I have this. I finished here with the repetition of the whites and the black that I needed to have the same length, the 13 of the white and the 12 of the black. Now I'm gonna finish with the black here on the top to do this. And what I'm gonna do now is I already cut the white and I tied the knot here, just a nice and loose knot with the black, and then I'm gonna do a net row. I'm gonna net all the way until the end. Okay. I finished that row. Now I'm gonna do a net row again, and then I will go back with a purl row, and then I will do another net row, and then after that I will cast off my stitches. Remember, you did a net, Now a second knit, 1 purl, and 1 knit. So I will see you here when it's time to cast off. Remember, you did a knit, you're doing a knit, and then you have to do after that a purl and a knit row. I finished that round. Now I'm gonna cast off or bind off my stitches, and I'm using the shorter one. They're both the same thickness, it's just shorter. So I'm gonna purl the first one and purl the second one, and I'm gonna pass the first one on top of the second one, nice and loose, that way it stretch. Purl the next one and pass the one in the back and top of that one and cast it off. And like that, you're going to continue all the way until the end, and you're going to do 2 pieces exactly the same. I have this one already finished, and the width in here is the same as this one. Okay, once you finish, you will have one, and you remove your needle and you will cut the yarn in here and pass it through. You're going to leave a tail long enough for sewing in one side with this one, and the tail in the other one will be to sew in the other side. So you see, this one will be for sewing in this shoulder, and this one from the other one to sew this shoulder. I have one of the sleeves done, and I decided to do with Muzzle with black because the contrast, doing it exactly the same as the body as the sweater, will be too much for my taste. You can do it if you want the whole thing black and white. And I did only one of the design in the center. It looked really nice. And I did 2 stripes with white and the rest black. So I cast on 23 stitches, 8 stitches for one side, 8 stitches for the other one, and 7 for the center. Since we're doing only one in the center, it's only a multiple of 7. It's when you do more than one, then it's multiple of 8, the entire thing. So what I did here, I did 2 of the design with the white, 2 round or row, 1 with the black and 2 with the white, and then I changed to the black and I continue working with the black, and then I start doing the increases at the beginning and the end of the right side every few stitches. I'm gonna work in the other sleeve and show you until I do the first increase. After that, I will let you know how many increases I did for mine, but it's very easy. Is the stitch like the body in the wrong side and netting in the right side. The measurements of this sleeve is, I start here with the 23 stitches, and they were 8 inches. 8 inches is 20 centimeters, and I finish here with 16 inches, and 16 inches is 40 centimeters. So when you fold this in half, it will be 8 inches on one side, 8 on the other one, and then the total circumference on the arm is the 16, that is 40 centimeters, 20 centimeters for the front opening of the arm, and 20 for the one in the back, like this. At the length in here, from the tip to here, measure 18.5 inches. 18.5 inches is 47 centimeters long from the border to the tip in here. Okay. So now we're gonna start casting on our 23 stitches. To start, I'm gonna leave the tail long enough to cast on my 23 stitches. So to start, I'm gonna leave a tail. That way it's easier to lose later. So I'm going to wrap around 23 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. I'm going to do a slip knot I'm gonna start casting on my 23 stitches, exactly the same as I did for the body of the piece. If you want to do the sleeve a little bit with more stitches, you just add 2 stitches, and instead of 23 you do 25, and those extra 2 you add to the side, one for each side, or you can do 27, and that will be 10 in one side, 10 in the other one, and 7 in the center. But remember, this yarn is super bulky, so with 23 is more than enough for mine. Look how big this is, and that's without stretching. So I'll meet you here when I have my 23 stitches. Here I have my 23 stitches. I'm gonna do a knot to secure the last one and my work. And now I'm gonna work 2 rows of purl like we did for the 2 pieces at the body. The 2 first row are purl, and I don't count these 2. I count this one as the border, and then after you do those 2 that you change to the white, that will be my first row. Okay, so purl all the way until the end, come back with a purl, and I will meet you here. Here I have my 2 purl rounds or row, so I don't count those 2, I just count them as the border. That's it. So now with the white we're gonna start, and these count as the row 1 of the sleeve. So in the right side we're gonna net, and I'm gonna leave a tail there, and then I'm gonna net a couple in here, let's say 3, and then I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna secure the white with the black there, and leave the black because we're gonna continue working with the black as well. So you're gonna net all the way to the end, and I forgot to mention that you're gonna need a marker. It's just to make things easier when you have to do the yarn overs, because as you increase you have more stitches, and then it gets confusing sometimes when you have to do yarn over. And then when you pass the marker, and then you know that it will be when you have to do the yarn over. Only one marker. So net this all the way until the end. I have my round with the white done, or my row. I keep saying round like I'm doing a hat. So we're gonna do 8 purls. So I already have the marker ready. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 purl. Now you're going to place the marker. That way you will know when you get to the marker that it's time to do the yarn over, because as you increase the stitches here, you will have more before the yarn over. That way you don't make the mistake of working without doing the yarn over. But you only need 1 in here. So you're going to do a yarn over. After you place the marker, you do a yarn over, 2 purls, 1 and 2, 3 together in a purl stitch, 2 purls, 1 and 2, yarn over, and now you're going to do 8 purls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 purl, and that's how you're going to do this. I finished that row, but I realized when it's time for me to do the increases, I will be working with the black, and with the black you don't want to see anything at all how I do the increases. So I decided to show you now how the increases go, but I don't have to do the increase now until row 13. I'm working right now in row 3. So And row 13 is when I start my increases, and that will be with the black yarn. So the increases will go. This is just to show you how you're going to do the increase when it's time to do the increase. So you're going to net the first one, and then when you pass the stitch to this needle, you're going to have a strand in here. You see that strand? You're going to come with this needle from the back to the front, and then you're going to come here to the front strand, and you're going to net that stitch, and then you're going to net the next one, and like that is how you're going to do the increase on the sleeve, at the beginning and at the end. So I'll show you one more time. So again, you see, you're going to knit the first one. This is just to demonstrate with the white how you're going to do the increase when it's time to work with the black in row 13. So you knit the first one, and the strand in here in between, not from the front to the back, because if you do it like that, when you do here, you will have a hole. So it has to be from the back to the front. And you see, when you cross in here, this do a cross, and you go to the front strand. You're going to knit that one, and you go to the next one, and you're going to knit the next one, and when it's time to do the increase, you will knit all the stitches until you have 2 left. You're going to knit this one, and between the last one and this one, these two, you do the increase in here. That is at the end of row 13. So now what I'm going to do is just work my stitch as I supposed to, just a net row all the way until the end. Okay, so that's what you're going to do on row 13 when you start the increases. So now row 3 is just a net row. I just wanted to explain that with the lighter color yarn, that way you guys can see how you're going to work the increases. So when I get to the end of this row, when I have these 2 left, I will show you how you do the increase at the end. That way you can see exactly how the increases go. I'm at the end of row 3, and I have the last 2 stitches, so I'm going to knit this one, and exactly the same as you did the increase at the beginning is at the end. You're going to come to that strand in here in the center, in between the stitches. You're going to go from the back to the front, and then you're going to knit that stitch exactly the same. Knit the last one, and you have your increase. And remember, that's what you're going to do in row 13. Now I'm going to work on row 4, and I hope you saw very well the way you're going to do the increases when it's time to do the increases. So row 4 is the repetition of row 2, and is 8 purls. It's exactly the same. The good thing about this design is that it's the same repetition over and over. Nothing changed, only the increases. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're going to pass the marker. Right now you'll think it's useless to have a marker, but let me tell you, when you start doing the increase, you'll appreciate having the marker there. Yarn over, 2 purls, 3 together, 2 purl, yarn over, and 8 purls. You see, 4 and 4 is 8. So I finished that row number 4, and now we're going to work on 5, and in 5 we're going to change to the black. And here in my handy dandy notebook I have everything that I did in the first sleeve. I wrote down every single detail. That way when now that I'm doing the second, I do the second exactly the same. So here I did, you see the row from 1 to 4 with the white, and then 5 and 6 with the black, 7 to 10 with the white, and then from 11 on is all black. And you see I'm crossing, start crossing what I did in those one, and then I will continue that way. I keep track at the same rows for the other sleeve. So the increases I did in row 13, you see we increase to 9, and then I didn't start at the beginning, that way I know. And then into 17 we increase, and then we had 10 instead of 9, and then we jump from 17 to 23. Every 6th row we're going to do the increase. 23, 29, 35, 41, 47, 53, and 57. I did 60 row for mine, or 59. Number 60 was the cast off for the other sleeve. So try to keep everything write everything down what you do in one sleeve, that way you know what to do in the second one. I always recommend that. So now we're going to work in row 5, and I forgot to bring this one row up, but don't matter, I'm going to leave it nice and loose in there, and I'm going to leave the white, and I'm going to start knitting with the black. So this is row 5 with the black, and 6 go with the black, and then from 7 to 10 go with the white again. So in here you see I did 2 stripes with the white, but if you like you can do 1, but for mine I like with 2, and then after that I'll continue just with the black. So after I finish this row I will come back with number 6, that is the repetition of row 2. So I did row 5, now we have to do row 6, that is the repetition of row 2, and you're gonna purls 8, and then pass the marker, yarn over, 2 purls, 3 stitches together in a purl stitch, these 3, 2 purls, and then yarn over. We only need 1 marker because here is where it will be more difficult, because in the center you always gonna have 2 purl, 3 together, and 2 purl, and then you do the yarn over. You don't gonna forget that or get confused, because when you do the 3 together you have to do always 2 separate purls and then the yarn over. So now what you want to do is do your 8 purls and then do the stitches in the center. I finished row 6. Now row 7 we're going to change again to the white, and we're going to do those 4 rows like we did here with the white. So this one is in a row, and this is row 7. So you're going to knit all the stitches, and you're going to leave the black in there, and you're going to go back with a repetition of row 2. So those are the 2 repetitions you're going to do, row 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So I finished that row, and now I'm gonna do the repetition again with the white. I'm gonna do the repetition of row 1, and then come back with repetition of row 2, and then I will change to the black, and that will be in row 11. So this one is row 9, and then 10 you come back with repetition of 2, 11 you change to the black and do repetition of 1, and 12 you'll do the repetition of 2, and in 13 we do the first 2 increase of the sleeve. Okay, but remember we're going to do it with the black, so that's why I showed you with the white before how to do the increases. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek at my weather outside. It's been snowing and snowing. The last 2 days we have 30 below zero, freezing. So since last night it's snowing and snowing, and it's minus 16 today. But I love the snow. So I finished those rounds, and now we have to work in round 13 is where we're gonna start with our increases. So I show you how you're gonna do the increases in your piece with the white. That way it was easier for you. So it's exactly the same. You're gonna net the first one, and in the space in between from the back to the front, you're gonna pass your needle, and in that stitch you're gonna do your increase, and then you're gonna net all your stitches, and then you're gonna do again the increase in between the last 2 stitches, and that is in 13. And then you will come back with row 14, so you'll have 9 stitches in each side and the 7 in the center. And I will let you know in which row I did the increase. So in row 13 I did the first increase, so you'll in 14 you'll have 9 stitches on each side and 7 in the center, and then you will work those stitches until row 16, and then in 17 you will do another increase, 1 on each side, and then you'll have 10 stitches on each side and 7 in the center. And then you're going to work those stitches from row 18 to 22. Remember, it's always the repetition, and the right side you net, and the wrong side you do the stitches and the design, and these 7 stitches in the center. No matter how many stitches you increase in the side, always these 7 stay the same, and the repetition the same. Row 1 it was a net, and row 2 a purl with the design in the center. So in 23 you're going to do another increase, so you'll have 11 each side and 7 in the center. So you're going to work 24 to 28, and then in 29 is the right side, you're going to do an increase again, 12 on each side and 7 in the center. You're going to work those stitches in row 30 to 34, and 35 again in the right side you do another increase. That will be 13 stitches on one side, 7 in the center, and 13 in the other side. And you're going to work those stitches from row 36 to 40, always doing the repetition of row 1 and 2. And 41 is the right side again. You're going to do another increase, so you will have 14 on each side and 7 in the center. And you're going to work from 42 to 46. And in 47 again, you'll do another increase. You will have 15 stitches on each side and 7 in the center. And you'll work from 48 to 52 with no increases. In 53 again you do another increase, that will be 16, 7 and 16, and then you want to work from 54 to 56. In 57 you do the last increase, that will be 17 stitches on one side, 17 in the other side, and 7 in the center. You will work row 58 and 59, and then in 60 you will cast off your stitches. If you want your sleeve exactly the same size as mine. If you are doing your sleeve a little bit wider, you can do the increases every 4 row, and instead of every 6 row like mine. You can do every 4. You do the increase in every 4, and then you can do every 6, every 4, every 6, and then slowly you will increase more stitches to your sleeve. But it always is the same repetition, and the right side is a net, and the wrong side you will do. That's why it's good to have the marker, because you are increasing, and then in the way back you will know after you pass the marker you're gonna do the yarn over and the stitch, and after you do your 2 yarn over, and the rest of the stitch are purl. I almost done the last row a straight purl, because I was thinking when I was looking at the design in here, how nice this look for a hat like that. It will look really, really nice. So I was in my creation, in my other project, and I went almost straight, but I cut it in time, and I frog some stitches and do the design. but I'm gonna continue like this. Remember, the increase for mine is in row 13, 17, 23, 29, 35, 41, 47, 53, and 57, and always one increase at the beginning and between the two first stitch, and an increase in between the last two stitches. So I will continue with my sleeve, doing exactly what I just show you how to do, and I will meet you here to cast off the sleeve. And remember, keep always track to what you do in one sleeve to do in the other one, okay? Always, always. That way you end up with two identical sleeves. Let me show you one more time. Here at the end, you're gonna pass your tip of your needle from the inside, and then you're gonna come here, you're gonna knit this one, and these needles are a little round in the tip, and it's sometimes my stitch fall off. So there is the increase. So something that I wanted to mention, just in case it happened to you like it happened to me when I was working the other sleeve, is that I was working and I forgot to write down the row that I was doing. So in order to count the ones that I have done, what I did is, so you see here you have the little circle, that's one, and the line in here is 2. The next circle is 3, and the line of the stitch here is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is the hole, and 12 is the line underneath, and then I have 13 in the needle. So it's something that I wanted to mention, just in case it happened to you, you're watching a show or something, and that's the easiest way to count the stitches, especially when you have, you know, more round like me. I was almost like here when I realized that, and that was easier to count and then go stitch by stitch in here. Here I have my 59 rows. So now I'm gonna purl and cast off or bind off the stitch, nice and loose. Okay, you want to have elasticity here when it's time to sew the sleeve to the body of the sweater, like that, nice and loose. You're gonna purl past the one in the back and top of that one in the front and cast it off. The next one, the one in the back, and like that you're going to continue until you have only one left, and you're going to cut a strand of yarn long enough, you see, nice and loose, that way you get elasticity in here until you have one. You're going to cut a strand long enough for sewing this to the body of the sweater, and you're going to pass it through that loop, and then you do the other sleeve exactly the same. Well, I have my 4-piece done, my front and back and the 2 sleeves. First we're gonna sew the shoulders. With this strand I'm gonna sew in here, and with this one on the other side. And I'm gonna sew around until here, that piece. That is, let me measure. I need to get new one of these. And around here measure 12.5 centimeters, that is 5 inches. Around 5 inches I'm gonna sew on this side, the same in the other one, and I'm gonna leave the strand in here. I don't want to finish the shoulders. I'm gonna leave the strand waiting there, the same in the other side. I'm gonna thread it on. If I had to sew some more, I will do it. If I have to remove some, I still can do that because I'm not finished with those strands. I always like to do that. And before I finish with sewing here, I will do the sleeve, and then when I put it on with the sleeve, and then I will know if exactly that's the opening that I want for the collar. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. I already set together this side and the shoulder, and it looks really nice, but I don't leave enough tail to do all the sewing, but I'm going to leave it there until I try it on. If I need to sew more, I will attach another piece of yarn and continue, or I just finish with this one in here. So now I'm going to do the same in the other side, and I will show you how to do it. I turn it on, it's still a little bit open, but I'm going to leave it like that because I will finish that at the end when I have all the sleeve done and the side of the sweater, and then I will turn it on, and then is when I will finish the open of the collar. So now we're going to start with the sleeve. I'm going to put it like this, and you hardly get a seam in here if you grab the two strands like I showed you. I know with black you don't see it, but the two, it looked like a chain, and those two strands is the ones that you grab, and the same you're going to do for the sleeve. So the center here is the center of the sleeve, and you're going to come here to the center of the, where you do the sewing of the shoulder, and you're going to start, I'm going to put some of this pin, and I'm going to pin it down here right in the center, and then I'm gonna open this up with those tails in here. Pin it down. Until this one in here. Like that. So now I'm going to count how many I did. So I'm going to go by the black. 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5 I finished. So I'm going to start in here, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to place it in here. And about these at the dollar store, they have a pack of 2 of these wheels. So and if you look at the border of your sleeve, you see, and here they have the two strand like a chain, and those two you're gonna grab to do the sewing. Okay, that will be nice finish. And like that, you see, I place the sleeve. Now I'm gonna sew this one and do the same with the other one. So in here, you see, when you cast off your stitches, you end up with 2 strands. When you sew the sleeve to the body of the sweater, you're gonna grab those 2 strands as we did for the shoulder. That way you will get a nice seam, and it's like the border is like that, like a net stitch, and then you're gonna grab those 2 strands. I know with black you don't gonna see a lot, but if you're doing this, I hope you already know how to sew your pieces together. Well, I did the sewing in here, and it's seamless, like you see. You don't see where I sew the 2 pieces together. And I did in here, in between this one and this one, and here is the seam in between, like that there. If I look, it's in there. But I sewed this part with white yarn, that's why you don't see it. And the part of the sleeve in here I did with black yarn. So even in here I did this with black. I have a stitch there peeking out in white, but don't matter. But in here you don't see the black where the 2 white meet, and it's in here where I did the sewing. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, let me explain quick here, because one side of the sweater have a wider border, this one, and this one have a thinner one, you see. So I did here, and I hope you guys can see, is in the side here is where I did the sewing, against the side in here, like so. And then you see, when you look at the piece, it's seamless, like that. So, like I mentioned, and this side here that I have more white, I did the sewing with the white, and in the sleeve with the black. Even in here is with black. So what you have to do first is with the pin, you're gonna pin your sweater. And I know that I talk a lot. Some people say that I talk too much in my videos, but I like to explain every single details. That way I don't leave anything for you guys to guess. Okay, so you're gonna come here, and with your pin you're gonna mash these together in here, and it's important that you mash this part where the color is changed, the stripes, because you want to match each stripe from one side with the other one. And in here, you see at the end, I did this as well. And pin that in here. And I continue pinning this still with my pins, like that. Go to the border, into the border, until I get under the arm, and then when I get to under the arm, I come here and I do the same. You're gonna match the border here, because you want everything to be even. Okay, and in here what you do is you match the black. And like that you're going to continue until you have everything even. You're going to start sewing from the beginning of the sleeve until under the arm, change your yarn to white, and from there you continue all the way to the side. So I'm going to start working in here, and I will show you anyway in here, that way you see how I did mine. Even if I'm working with black, still I'm sewing in the white part with the black. So the same way you're going to continue all the way, and if you make any mistake that is not even or anything, you're going to remove your needle from the yarn and you're going to open a little bit and you're going to go in between, open a little more, that way you see which one is the one that you're going to pull, and then you start pulling out your yarn until the place where you want to fix, and then you fix, and you're going to continue making sure that everything is even. Here I have a little bit of the stitch pulling, so that's why I'm undoing this little piece in here, and then come back now. You see, I'm there, and now I will redo that part in here again. It was pulling from here. Okay, so like that you're going to continue all the way until under the arm, and then I will change to white, and then I will show you with the white, that way you can see a little bit better the sewing. I don't know if you can see well what I'm gonna do. I'm trying my best. If you see here, you have the net stitch, and in the side and the border you have a net stitch. So in between those two, the two net stitch and here, you see in the side, in that border, you're gonna pass your needle, and you're gonna pull, and you go in the other side. You see you have the stitch here, but in the side you again have those stitches. You go in the side here and you pass your needle, and when you pull that, make it even in here. Again you go on the side in between those two stitches where you grab that stitch in between, or strand in between, and you pull, and like that you're gonna continue. You see in the side here, it look like a two chain stitch, and in between and here you see when one finish and the other start, and that strand in the center is where I'm passing my, and when I pull it's nice and even, and like that you're gonna continue working all the way until the end. This is the leftover yarn that I'm planning to do a hat with this. No, with this design, but a hat, black and white. Now I'm gonna put this in my mannequin and I will show you the end result. Well, this is the end result, and I really love the sweater. Like you see, is in the smaller size. Like I mentioned, I am a size large, and this model or mannequin is a medium size, a medium to a small, and it's perfect for it. Look at the sleeve, it looks gorgeous with that design. So I really recommend, if you are a voluptuous person, to make this with a thinner yarn or a cotton yarn, because it will be less bulky. Okay, but I love the end result of this sweater. So I hope you guys like it, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And if you make this beautiful sweater and you want to send me some picture, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Stedman Crochet, or my Instagram, Ruby Stedman Crochet. Please share my video with friends and family, that way you help me grow here in YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.